Hey guys, it's been a while. I was just cleaning up my Mac. I haven't had much time to work. So far, I just found this old model that I did when I was 14. Just wanted to show you because I just want to give an example of what is wrong and bad edge flow. This is bad edge flow. Watch as I turn this model to a non-see-through. And then I'm going to give you a view of the edges. You can see how the edges in this are all skewed and all over the place. Let me see if I can fix that. Right. I also made an IK solver based rig for this model, just in order to make this guy be able to move. You see, I didn't do a very good job of them, but yeah, I was younger at the time, so you can forgive it. Anyway, yeah, so as you can see, he's not very well modeled. At that time I wasn't as good as I am now. I was practicing at that point. So yeah, this is how a model should not look like. Every single joint of this model should have had squares. See how every part of these squares here has got a triangle through it? That should not have happened. Should have created everything using just a square, up, 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 with no triangles through it. Sure, triangles make it a lot easier to animate, and it makes it a lot better, a lot easier to do so, and the morphing works better. But at that, it also creates problems. Too high a poly count, all the rest. But yeah, just giving you an example. So this is also as well as a model, it's a bone mesh, as you can see. So this is what I did when I was younger. I tried to develop ways to animate my character. This is something you guys should start trying if you want to get the hang of things, using bones and skin tools. I'll show you what the character looks like. So let's unfreeze this. Let's see. So see-through. Alright, so you can see his bone structure here. Okay, so it wasn't very good at the time either, but here's a basic idea. So I'm using solvers, which you find at animation, IK solvers. High solvers create basic, they just draw like a line between the bone that you've selected and the bone that it's going through, and that causes it to have a rigidity sort of effect. So basically, if I move just this, it moves the entirety of the model. But if I move this one, well, the entirety model of the foot anyway. If I move this one, this uses a IK limb solver. This basically bends the knee. To do this, I selected this bone, the one just behind, and made a limb solver to this bone here, and this caused the knee joint. But yeah, you can move them all individually, or you can select and link them to another object used as a guide, and this gives you a little bit better movement. Now, you also can link IK solvers themselves. So say, for example, you want this one to follow this one. Now in this case, that wouldn't be the best way to do it. You'd be wanting this one, the foot joint, to be following this one. So you'd click and link them. Now, as for fingers, this is the most difficult part, except for, of course, facial rigging, which I didn't do at the time, but I will be going on to. I have done a little bit of it. Freeze selection. Right. Hands and hand rigging, that's a tough part, because you can see back then I painted the weights on and everything went haywire. If you paint weights and if you model the fingers too close together, you're going to get excessive pulling of every part of your model on the hand, and it can cause a real mess. So, you know, this causes a good few problems. So what you want to do with a hand, if you're modeling for characters for video games, you can just model the hands and fingers, these main fingers, as one single part and the thumb as a separate part. That way it'll make things a lot easier. Anyway, in my next tutorial I'm going to be going over a bit more advanced stages in creating an object. We'll be creating an object for Project Ouroboros, which I'm currently working on. It's a spaceship game, and we're going to be creating the pagoda that's going to be in every one of the space stations. It's sort of like a giant battery.